My name is Hefziba Michael. I'm a realtor, and I'm backstopping for your facilitator today, Mr. Adrian. As for the purpose of this, I felt it was going to be more like I didn't know it was going to be like a lecture thing. So I thought we were going to do something like, adult learn better. This call it experiential learning, where we share and we'll just talk about some certain things. However, we're going to talk about some things today, and very, very key for a successful realtor. And for the purpose of this lecture, my name is going to be Mr. Dogood. Dogood. Yes, so that's just going to be my name for the purpose of this lecture. But like I said earlier, my name is Ogodino Hefziba Michael. Ogodino Hefziba Michael. Yes, and that's my name. So, but for this purpose, I am Mr. Dogood. Mr. Dogood. So basically, we're going to be looking at 7 secrets that a realtor should know. 7 secrets that a realtor should know. There are realtors and there are rectors. The only thing that matters and separates the realtors from the realtors is what they know and what they do. So basically, we're looking at what the things that a realtor should know, those secrets that will make the person a super realtor. Number 1, a realtor is a marketer. A realtor is a marketer. He goes out to source for clients. He strategizes on ways on getting a client. So there are no simple one way of getting a client for a realtor. You use the different marketing mix: digital, handbills, word of mouth. Every strategy that you can employ as a marketer is what a realtor should use in getting just one client. And in doing that, you know how to be strategic about it. That, okay, if I'm meeting this type of client, what strategy will I use to be able to sell my market to this person? Bearing in mind that you have to communicate the benefits of what you are selling to the person, because that's exactly what is going to your marketing niche. Now, okay, what is the kind of person, what will you be looking forward to in this, my conversation or this encounter that I have with this client? I'll give you an example. Just this week, a fellow realtor brought a client to my office. The client wanted to buy a property. I took them to the property. She said, we can't buy this property because it's not vacant. It's still tenanted. She gave reasons why they should not buy the property. She gave reasons why she would not buy the property. The next thing I looked at her, I knew she wouldn't be living in that kind of neighborhood. I asked her, ma'am, sorry, what do you want to do with the property? She said she would just want to buy it, demolish, and rebuild. I said, ma'am, I have a client. She does the same thing. She has a couple of millions in her account. They're paying small stipend as interest rate. So what she does is that she uses money, she buys a property, holds it for a while, then resell. She doesn't have to build. I sold the idea to her. She left. She didn't say anything. The next day, the agent called me. Mama came to my office very early this morning, and she said she wants a document to that property, and she's interested in buying the property. What have I successfully done? I've just looked at her, look at what she wants. She doesn't really know what she wants, but because I'm a realtor, I know what she wants. She wants to make money. And it's not because she wants to live there. If she wanted to live there, it would have been another thing. She wants money. So I gave her an answer. What you don't have to build. All you do, just buy the property, hold it on for like maybe 6 months. Because she was saying, when would those, I said, they've already given the sitting tenant eviction notice. So all you just need to do is while the road is running, perfect your papers and you are waiting. And in the next 8 months, you'll be able to make 4 million or 5 million naira from just this investment. And she saw it. So that is who a realtor is. A realtor is a marketer. You look at your clients, you know what they want. Some want to hold up the property for a while. Some want to build. Some want to resell in the next future. Some just want to tie the money down. But it is for you as the realtor to be able to understand the psychology behind the client's interest in the property. If you are able to get that right, then you're on your way to becoming a very, very successful realtor. Then, like I said, you employ different marketing mix. Now, if you are not digitally inclined as a realtor, there's little or much you can more. There's just little you can do. You need to make your presence known on the web. You need to advertise, create a page, your WhatsApp page, put it up there, create a small video, do something. That is, use any means and every means within your means. You can have a mini lecture like this. You can have your church people, organize them. Then you call somebody, maybe, you know, if you can't facilitate very well, you can just come to the office. I have a group of people I would like to talk to. Can you please give me somebody who will come and address them? There are not one way to getting a client in the real estate business. There are multiple ways. All you need to do is devise the strategy that works the best for that particular people and for that particular occasion. Because bearing in mind that what you are doing is marketing. Because it is marketing, you need to get as many people into the funnel and as possible. Then too, you can also apply, there are so many marketing rules. You have the 80-20 rule, where 20% of the realtors, probably in Seplat, are the ones making 80% of the money, while the other 80% are the ones getting the 20%. So you ask yourself, how do I apply this rule? There are some people who are clients that will get you better deals, and there are some that will not get you good deals. So you concentrate your efforts on getting those that can get you good deals, not leaving behind those other people. They're also as important as the other persons that can get you those good deals. So you apply that rule, the 80-20 rule. Then 80-20 rule. That's what they call it in marketing. 80-20 rule. Then, what is another secret of a successful realtor? A successful realtor understands the fact that he is an entrepreneur. He's not just a marketer. He's an entrepreneur. He's a business owner. And as a business owner, there are things that he thinks about. One, he has a vision of where he wants the company, which he owns, under another company, under the envelope of another company. For example, now, Seplat is a company. You are a realtor under Seplat, but you don't see yourself as a staff of Seplat. You see yourself as an entrepreneur partnering with Seplat. Then you now decide, as an entrepreneur, What kind of business do I want to grow? You set your vision. I was glad when I sat down there, I listened to Mr. Dixon. He was talking about the international office in Enugu and the vision he has. So also, any good or successful realtor must have a mind, must have a vision of where he wants that particular business to go to. That will determine the sacrifices he will pay in terms of work hours, in terms of people you want to talk to, in terms of the strategies you want to adopt. Then, apart from having a vision of where you want to get to, as an entrepreneur, you must also think about branding. That when you see yourself as an entrepreneur, you see yourself that now you have to create a brand. Creating a brand, not just for Seplat, but for your own business, because you're an entrepreneur, you're an entity on your own. You need to know. Like I said, I thought we were going to do experiential learning because adults learn better under that. Adults learn better under that platform than lecturing. So if I'm talking about myself a bit, please do not take offense. I'm not trying to sell myself. I'm only trying to put points across in a better way. So, as a small boy realtor, when I started real estate, I told myself that I'm going to create a niche for myself. I looked at the business, it was for all. There was no certification, for no entry qualification. So I told myself, by the grace of God, you are able to count small book. So therefore, I have to set myself apart. I don't have to talk like the other real estate people that I met in there. I don't have to think like them. I don't have to dress like them. I created a brand for myself. In Sule, I was one of the first persons that started charging 5K as consultancy fee. You come to my office, you say you want my service, I will tell you that my consultancy fee is 5,000. I said, why will I pay 5,000 naira? I said, well, you are asking me to do a job for you. I'm a consultant, and you are consulting me. He said, but other people collect registration. I said, I don't take registration fee. I don't need registration fee to do my job. I'm only charging you a consultancy fee because you are consulting me to do a job. It's okay. I can't pay. I said, no problem. Please, this address, there's a real estate, a realtor whose office is here. There's a realtor whose office is here. There's a realtor whose office is here. I give you like 3. I said, you can just call them. That's their phone number. No hard feeling. I created my brand from day one. I told myself, this is how I want to work. This is the type of clients I need. So, as an entrepreneur, branding should be topmost in your heart. What kind of clients do you want? How do you want your business to be seen? What outlook do you want for your business? I met clients who, some of them will see me and they'll say, you don't dress like an agent. You don't talk like an agent. I say, well, is that way they talk? Or is that the way they dress? And then they're always looking hungry. You understand? But from the start one, I just told myself that that's not going to be my own share. So I created a brand for myself. And that brand, we are growing. So an entrepreneur is someone who creates a brand. An entrepreneur is a visionary. He knows where he's going to. An entrepreneur is not just a visionary. It's not just someone who creates. It's a goal getter. You need to set your goals. Set your goals. This year, how many clients do I want to have? How many plots of land do I want to sell? said that, then you ask yourself, how do I get these clients? How do I get these clients? How do I get them to? It puts you on the check. You start thinking, put your mind to work. The issue most people have, the challenge is that most times we don't ask ourselves questions. And if there are no questions, certainly there won't be no answers. So when you ask yourself questions, your mind immediately goes to work. And saying, okay, how many clients do I want to achieve this year? It's okay, 12. How do I get this 12? Will be the next question. But if you're just working like others, simple, they have 12,000 hectares to sell. Okay, let's just start getting it along. You are doing the bandwagon stuff. You need to set yourself apart. The questions you ask yourself will always determine the answers you will get. Then, who is also an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is somebody who sacrifices. There are a lot of sacrifice to be made as an entrepreneur. One, getting here is a sacrifice. There are some people who also market for Seplat and who have not thought it fit that they should be in this kind of environment to come and learn something new. They feel they always have a reason anyway. There's always a reason not to be somewhere. You have somewhere else you could have been right now. So does every other person. But you have created that time to be here because you want to learn something new that will impact your job. So an entrepreneur is that person who sacrifices one thing for the purpose of where he is going to, what he wants to achieve, the things he wants at the end of the year done. He's a purpose-driven person. That's what an entrepreneur is. Then we move to the other one. A realtor. Remember, we are looking at 7 secrets that a realtor should know. The other one is that a realtor is a relationship manager. A realtor is a relationship manager. What do I mean by a relationship manager? It means simply that you must know how to manage different people with different attitudes, character. You meet a lot of persons. You can meet someone who is erratic. You will meet some people, they are very calm, welcoming, and there are some people, you just meet them. Once you are 5 minutes late to the appointment, they tell you, sorry, we can't go again today. The time is up. I gave you 12 o'clock, and you are here by 12:07. We'll reschedule for another day. So a realtor is a relationship manager. 6 years ago, a colleague from Egbeda brought a client to me. Then I was still doing letting things. So the client wanted a 2-bedroom apartment. We met at Choppy's restaurant at Ojo Elegba. Then after discussing, I took the client somewhere. They didn't like it. So the agent left to Egbeda. And on the first note, I just liked the two persons, young couples about to get married. So I took their number and I started working on their request. Their agent abandoned them to me. But I developed a relationship with the two of them. And this relationship, they didn't just get a 2-bedroom apartment from me. They bought a house from me. They gave me a house to sell. And where I worship today, they invited me to the church where I worship today. So a successful realtor is a relationship manager. You must understand how to manage relationship. Most of my clients end up being my friend. Most 80% of my clients end up being my friends. Because I have come to understand that in this business, one person is not just a client. It's a chain of clients waiting for you to tap into. It has a multiplier effect. It has a multiplier effect. A multiplier effect. The one client you have seen today or you got today can bring you 20 persons if the person is satisfied. So the bottom line is, when you have a client, cherish that client, manage that client, understand that client, create and build a relationship with that client that at the end of the day, you're going to benefit much from that client. I don't like losing clients, because when I lose one client, I have lost at least 10 other clients. So I try to manage my clients very, very, very well. So a successful realtor must be a good relationship manager. You must know how to manage people, manage your relationship, manage your clients effectively. Then, a successful realtor is on call 24/7. It's like a doctor. You're on call 24/7. At times, there are properties that I manage, and they call me at 1:30. Mr. Mike, hey, I say, look, did you check the time? It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Am I supposed to come to Lekki or come to this place? They'll call you that this facility is not working, this one is not working. I can't come there now. You're just calling me by 2 a.m. There's nothing I can do. You don't expect me to start driving down. You don't expect me, but that is who a successful realtor is. A successful realtor is on call 24/7. 24/7. Good morning, sir. Good morning, man. You're welcome. We'll do a recap. Okay, we'll do a recap later, not now. So, a successful realtor is on call 24/7. Clients might call you at odd times. They want to solve issues that are going on in their heart, questions that are unresolved. Yesterday, a client that I took out through a fellow realtor, they called me. She was asking some questions. She wasn't too clear about the documentation. And I didn't plan to go to work yesterday. So I was with a friend, we were gisting. And they called me. Now, the way I was explaining on phone with to the client, she really didn't get it. Then she now said, please, can you come to Adelabu, this person's office? I'm not getting it. I said, okay, ma'am, give me 20 minutes. I will be with you. Mind you, I didn't plan to go to work. I had a friend with me who were talking and gisting life issues. But because a successful realtor understands the fact that he is on call 24/7, he's more like a doctor working on emergency basis as the need arises. So I got there. It was documentation issue. I put things straight for her, Although I wasn't there in 20 minutes, but in less than 30 minutes, I was there. And we put things straight. So a successful realtor understands that he's on call 24/7. As he's walking on the road, he's looking, psychologically gauging his would-be clients. In the bus, he's looking, psychologically gauging his would-be clients. In church, he's looking for who successfully, the client that will become a successful client. So he's on call 24/7. 24/7 is working. Because why? He understands that he's an entrepreneur. He has a goal, he has a vision that he wants to achieve. He understands that he's a marketer. And as a marketer, every opportunity that comes your way, you seize it. You seize every opportunity that comes your way as a marketer. So, a successful entrepreneur or a realtor is a pathfinder, is a knowledge seeker. When I got into real estate, it was by chance. After graduating, I worked with Society for Family Health. I decided to leave my job and set up my own personal business. I came back to Lagos, and within 2 years, I was just below the ground, not on the ground. If I was on the ground, it would have been good. Beneath, far beneath. I lost everything. Life was back to square one. In fact, it wasn't square one. It was minus square one. So, then, and I remember that growing up, after graduating, I was in my family house in Festac. And I had this secondary school mate, Korida Ajala, who is a surveyor. And I was working with Ibukule Lawal at that time, around somewhere in First Avenue, not far from my house. So we come to my house. So what are you even doing in this house? Just sit down there, Jada. I better take this property, go and look for who go buy them. So that was how I came in contact with real estate. So when things went bad, I thought to myself, what can I do? I've lost everything, all the money I have saved and worked for. Everything is gone. And life has to go on. So I remembered real estate. So I started. When things get a little better, I will leave it. I will jump to another one, and I will keep going. When that one hits the rock, you leave it. Like someone said, if you want to kill a great idea, give that man with the great idea another great idea. You will kill that idea for him. He will start pursuing the other one. So I happen to be like that. I like to think. So I got so many things in my head. So I felt, so I will leave that and I'll jump to another one. I will leave that and jump to another one. So anytime things go wrong, I found myself going back to real estate. Anytime things go wrong, I found myself going back to real estate. Then one day I sat down. I said, this thing I keep going back to, there must be something in it for me. Then I said, okay, what am I going to do? I went to Joleba, I went to the bookshop. I got books on real estate. First thing. I started reading. A successful realtor is a pathfinder, a knowledge seeker. They want to know who is doing it and doing it well. And I got to make you understand that I didn't start, and I did not even start getting successful at all. I never made the 6 figure in 6 years in real estate. I didn't make it. As in per annum, I wasn't clocking 6 figure in 6 years as a realtor. Then one day, God just saw me and had mercy on me and asked me one question. Those that are making it in real estate, what kind of transactions do they do? That was the turning point. So, a successful realtor is someone who asks questions. I mean, Seplat, some people are selling 14 plots a year, 20 plots a year. If I were you, I would be the person's best friend. There's something he knows that you don't know. So, a successful realtor is a pathfinder. It might not be with Seplat, it might be with P1, it might be with other persons, it might be with other company. But a successful realtor is a pathfinder. It's a knowledge seeker. He wants to go out. He wants to buy books. He wants to learn. He wants to meet with people who are successful because they have a story. I've been able, by the grace of God, to mentor some people who are successful realtors today. The reason is I have learned what works and what does not work. And that's the only thing I taught them. That these are the things that work. These are the things that don't work. God does not respect man, but he respects principles. If you do what the successful do, you will become successful. I once read a book where they interviewed the wife of late JFK Kennedy. And they asked her, now supposing you go bankrupt, you go broke, what will you do? And she said, I will only go to where the rich eat, and I will eardrop into their conversation. That's what she said. Because the rich, they are successful persons. They have a way they talk. They have the way they think. Any successful person in any successful realtor has paid his or her dues in one way or the other. He has a story, a success story. Corporate world, we simply call it best practice. Best practice. Yes, in corporate world. Because best practice, that means, let me break it down. Like say, okay, people who have become successful, let's say 10 persons have become successful, and they have followed one path. They followed one path, they've done something, this and this. In psychology, they call it that behavior has a pattern of expression. So successful people have a way they think, they have the way they act, they have the way they do the things. And so also a successful realtor has some things that they have done. If you check out 1, 2, 3, 4 successful realtors, talk to them, you will find out that their stories are similar. So if you want to be a successful realtor, one secret that you can take out of this place, seek out those who have succeeded in the business. Become a friend to them. Let them mentor you. Ask them 1 or 2 questions. They will tell you what works and what does not work. It will help you to save. Some people call it mentoring. It will help you to save a lot of years. It will help you to save a lot of things. That was actually what saved my real estate career. When I asked myself, so I sat down and I asked myself, all the people that are making it in this real estate, I listed them. This person, this person, this person, this person, this person. What kind of transactions do they do? I just started asking myself questions. When I observed, I saw that all of them had similar things in common. So I started gradually doing what they are doing. And gradually I started getting the results that they are getting. We're not there yet, but we are going there. So if you are close to Mr. Dixon and you ask him, very soon you will start owning your own estates. You'll not just be a marketer. Remember, a successful realtor is an entrepreneur. And as an entrepreneur, it's what you see inside that drives you. To some, it's just making a little extra income. To some, it's just to buy a new car. To some, it's just to own a land. To some, it's to own estates and where people. So some, it's just to have stuff. So what you see is what is going to drive you. But a successful realtor understands that he is an entrepreneur. A successful realtor thinks big. He thinks big. He thinks big. I remember in my second year in this business, a senior colleague of mine gave me a property at Ikoyi, Mulina Towers, precisely. He wanted to sell it. The client is his. He is a surveyor, and he also a stockbroker. He owns a stockbroking firm. So he has clients, and he's a business advisor. So he has clients, big clients. So he came, said, Michael, I got this property I want to sell at Molina Towers. I remember I went to a colleague's office. And I said, Mr. Ike, he said, what do you have? I said, I got this property to sell. He said, where you want to make I see this kind of client? That person cannot go far. I told him this is the type of property that I am looking forward to be selling. But as far as he has seen, he can never get that kind of client. He is not looking forward to that. But me, I am looking forward to that kind of client. I'm looking forward to selling that kind of properties, and looking forward to a successful realtor thinks big. He does not see the challenges, he sees the opportunities. Because challenges are everywhere. They are inevitable. Even in your house, as a mother, as a father, as a single parent, as a spinster, as a bachelor, challenges are everywhere. So, but a successful realtor does not see those challenges. What he sees are the opportunities, what he can grab out of it. I remember I read a book where they sent a marketer to go and check out, the company produces shoes. So they sent a marketer to one island to go and of them selling shoes there. He got to the place, he saw that they don't wear shoes. I didn't know where the client is going to come from or where he will come from. I don't know. But I just know that I have a network that when I put it up, I know I'm going to get it done. So a successful realtor thinks big. A successful realtor plans big. While people are doing, it's just the same thing of life. You need to pay your price. In school, I remember those days I used to be a groover, So those guys that will go to class, from class, go to library, from library, go to their hostel, sleep a little, come back to either the reading room or go to classroom to go and read. We used to tag them efficos, serious students. But guess what? 80% of those efficos got a first class or 2-1. We just wanted to just groove. You understand? There's a price to pay for everything. What they saw was what made them to pay the price. So that's why you have to think big. You have to think big if you got to make it big in real estate. You have to see yourself big. You see, just a few minutes ago, I was listening to Mr. Nixon, and he was talking about not just Enugu, not just Asaba, beyond. That is who a successful realtor is. He thinks big. He sees what others do not see. Yeah, to some, they will say, the whole place is occupied. Some people have gone ahead. There are still opportunities everywhere. Everywhere. You are not Mr. Dixon now. You can be the next Mr. Dixon tomorrow. Mr. Dixon wasn't Mr. Dixon of today 5-6 years ago. So all you need to do is remember that you are an entrepreneur, and as an entrepreneur, you have to think big. As a successful realtor, you have one chance with a client. And that one chance you have to create a wow experience. You just have to hit it. Just have to hit it, just that once. You might not have the second opportunity with the client. So once you meet that client, deposit something that the client will go home to think about. And what do you have to do? Knowledge. That's the only thing you can deposit. Knowledge. So a successful realtor knows what he is selling in and out. In and out. Because why? He's a marketer, and he has just one chance with that potential buyer. And he has to leave an impression, a lasting one, an indelible one, that the person has to go home and think about why I have to come and buy or pay for that property. So you have that one chance, and you need to use that, maximize it very, very well. And you cannot use it if you are not deep. You have to have knowledge of what you are selling. You have to have knowledge of documentation. You have to have knowledge on marketing. You have to have knowledge, everything that entails, that will help you to become successful in the business. Realizing that you are not just a marketer, you are an entrepreneur. You are a company. You may not have 4 walls like this as your office, You may not. For almost 6 years in the business, I didn't have anything like this. 6 years, I didn't have anything like this. But I was in business. And and I've been an entrepreneur. So you don't have to. As a realtor, your first and most important office is this place. Your phone. So don't limit yourself because you don't have an office. And I know that if you tell Mr. Dixon that you're bringing a client here, they will not stop you from bringing a client to this place, because this place is also an office for you. So you need to learn how to create that wow experience. That is what sells the market. That wow experience. Wow. How do you create that wow experience? Do you know that this person and this person bought from this place, and in 6 months, their property rose from 2 naira to 6 naira? Really? You have left something in the heart of the person. The person is looking at it that, wow, so if I put 2 million naira in this one plot, in the next 6 months, if I want to sell it, I can sell for 2.5 or 2.8. Person looks at it. That's a good business, because if I put 2 million naira in a fixed deposit, in the next 1 year, I will not have anything more than 50, less than up to 50,000 naira. I may not have, you understand? I may not have 50,000 naira in 1 year. So he sees that this is a good business opportunity. So it is your knowledge, your depth of knowledge, that makes you, enables you to live that wow experience in the heart of that client. Because remember, you just have that one opportunity, just that one chance, and you have to maximize it. You have to use it well. You have to use it well. You don't use it, you have lost that client. So just that once, you made the client, set in your heart before you go 10 reasons why this client should buy this property. Ask yourself, if I am in this client's shoe, who is not looking in that direction? Because most times they are not looking in that direction. 80% of the time, they are looking elsewhere. They want to do something else with their money. So, but it is you who will now ask yourself, if I'm this client and I'm looking elsewhere, what can I tell myself that will be able to make me to convince myself to change my direction? If you can successfully get that done, then know that every potential client that comes your way, you'll be able to turn their head around to buy what you want to buy. So the question and the answer resides inside of you. Asking the right question gets you the right answer. So for you to get that wow experience, you have to ask yourself, if I am Mr. John Bull, and Mr. John Bull is in Lagos, and he's not from the East, he's a Yoruba man, and I want him to invest in a property in Enugu, what do I have to tell Mr. John Bull so that he can bring money and go to Enugu and buy a property? Once you have successfully asked yourself those questions, and you have asked yourself deep down, it's just like you saying, okay, I'm from the East, I'm from maybe East, and somebody is telling me to come and buy a property in Kaduna. There must be one or two things that he has to tell me that will make me to change my mind and say, this thing is a good opportunity. So every investor is looking for what? Bottom line. Every investor is after the bottom line. How much am I going to make at the end of this transaction? What will be my benefit at the end of this transaction? That's what every investor is looking at. So if you have to get someone who is not from Enugu, who has never been to Enugu, to buy a property in Enugu, the question is, what do I need to tell this person so that he will be able to buy, convinced enough to go and buy a property in Enugu? So you must be able to create that wow experience. Well, for the benefits of those who came late, today I am backstopping for probably your regular facilitator, Mr. Adrian. Yes, my name is Ogodiona Hefziba Michael. I'm a realtor. And yes, and I said that for the purpose of this class, this lecture, I would like to be called Mr. Dogood. Dogood. Yes, Mr. Dogood. Actually, I felt when I was coming, I thought because adults learn better under a teaching pattern they call experiential learning, where we just share experiences and so I wasn't prepared for something like this. But when I got here, I just saw that, wow, this is a pattern here, so we got to do something that they do. So the topic today before us is 7 secrets of a successful realtor, or 7 secrets that a realtor should know. A successful realtor. It's not just being a realtor, because a successful realtor. Because what's the essence of being a realtor when you are not proud of being a realtor? I remember when I was in the corporate world, my driver used to tell me, he said that there's this man who was working with CBN. Was it CBN? Either CBN or printing. Mint, yes. So, a driver, but a successful driver. So, if you ask him that what do you do? He said, I'm a professional driver. He's proud that he's a driver. Why is he proud that he's a driver? Because he has successfully been able to achieve what others achieve. So you are in the banking industry, you are making your own success. He's here as a driver, he's doing well. So you don't just see him call himself a driver. You see him, he says he's a professional driver. So also a realtor. You cannot be proud to tell people that you are a realtor if you are not successful. You can just say that I'm a realtor. But what gives you the boldness, the bravado to tell people anywhere you go to that you are a realtor is that they have seen the fruits. The fruits that have accompanied the parole. So that's what we are looking at today. How to produce those fruits that will make you beat your chest, that will make your children to say, I like to be like daddy, I like to be like mom, I like to be like auntie, I like to be like my uncle. So those things are things we looked at. I would say number 1 is that a realtor is a marketer. A realtor is a marketer. And as a marketer, there is no one way in getting a client. You apply the multiple marketing mix different strategies. Digital, you use. Handbill, you use. Lecture, you use. Anything at all, you use. As a marketer, your eyes are open, looking for potential clients anytime and every time. As a marketer, you need to understand your product very well. You need to understand that these are the things you are selling. You need to understand the business plan and everything, so that when you are talking to somebody, a potential client, you are talking from the position of knowledge and authority. So we looked at another thing, that a realtor is a relationship manager. He builds network. He makes sure those network, they are working. One person once said that your network determines your net worth. So a successful realtor understands that is a relationship manager. And probably I will just chip in this because we didn't talk about that. As a marketer and as a relationship manager, you must understand the first thing, your immediate family are your first target market. They are your first target market. I have a friend, she markets for at Realtor Homes. Last year she was their top marketer, and they gave her a Honda Pilot for her efforts. Who bought the properties? How? So, as a marketer and as a relationship manager, your immediate family, they are your first clients. The next first client after your immediate family are your friends. The next first client after your friends are your church members, your club members, your schoolmates. Then after that, you now look at the general. So there must be one or two persons in your village or from your village that you know. All you just need to do is you just write down the name. Okay, in this my village, in this my family, in this my church, in this my mosque, in this my schoolmates, who can buy this property? You list them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Certainly the 10 of them will not say yes. But out of that 10, I guarantee you that if you apply the hot things, at least 1 or 2 will buy from you. So we said that a successful realtor is an entrepreneur. He owns his business. He's not working for anybody. He determines his success rate. He determines his failure rate. He determines how many hours he wants to put in on the job. He determines the marketing mix he wants to use to get just one person. Please, mind you, you can use 10 mixed marketing strategies to just get one client. The most important thing is just one client. I remember I once read a book, and they interviewed a chiropractor. It's an aspect of medicine. So he used to have plenty clients. And I asked him, how do you get all this? He said he does not know how he gets all these clients. But he knows that he uses different methods to get one client. And like Sterling Bank will say, that they want customer people. One customer people. Let your target be that one person. That one person. From that one person, you will discover that you have got 10 one persons. One person, 10 one persons. You just get that one person. Okay, this one is a potential person. This one is a potential. This one is a potential. You manage them very well through your relationship skills. The way you talk to them, the way you handle them, the way you treat them. The way you treat them will determine if they are going to come back or not, or they are going to become your friends or not. So we looked at it and we said that as an entrepreneur, he has a vision of what he wants to achieve, the kind of company he wants to build for himself. Does he just want to sell two properties in a year? He is thinking of building an empire. The height of a property, a house, will determine the foundation of that house. As an entrepreneur, you can't build a 4-story building on the same foundation that you build a bungalow on. And you can't build a skyscraper on the same foundation that you build a 4-story building on. It will what? Crash. So as an entrepreneur, your vision is very, very important. It will determine the kind of price you want to pay. Then we said the realtor is on call 24/7. That means it's an emergency person, just like a doctor. As he's going on the way, he's scouting, crouching. Who will be my next client? Is there any possible one in this bus? Is there any possible one on the road? He's on call 24/7. Then we said a successful realtor is a pathfinder, a knowledge seeker. He wants to learn. He wants to read books. He wants to ask questions. Like we said, I remember I shared a secret here. I said, a successful realtor will go to people who have been successful in the business and become friends with them. Ask them what they did and how they did it. They will share with you. They will tell you this and this. Then a successful realtor will set things big. Everybody was here. So when we talked about this, then a successful realtor creates a wow experience. So I'm going to be open for questions. Any question? Contribution, if you know question, comment, whatever.
Let me say something.
Okay, sir.
I was in a field yesterday.
Yes,
I don't know
sir.
whether it's related to what we have done there. So I met this postman. You know. So after having looked at our flyer, he said that he doesn't want to get a piece of land at Asaba. Actually, he wants land in Enugu. But the one we have in Enugu is a little bit expensive for me. You know. And he said, don't you have anything less than that? You know, that amount is too much for me. Now, how do I talk to that client?
Okay, the first thing you need to understand is, why does the client want to buy the property? Is it buying because he wants to build a house in the village in Enugu, or he's buying for commercial? He's buying to say, when you understand why he wants to buy,
Says what is for residential
for him, okay, that whenever he travels,
yes, go back home.
he goes back home and he's looking for something cheaper than that. Well, for me, if you want me to respond to that, if I were to you, I know in your position and I want to respond to that, I would just tell him that this and this and this and this. Probably he'll look for neighboring estates within that place whose prices are higher than what people are doing. Because you understand, if you understand that what people are giving them is a giveaway, then he will understand that he has to cut down on some other expenses in order to seize that opportunity now before it becomes too late. So that's why I said that a successful realtor is a knowledge seeker. It's not because you want to sell for the other estates, but you need to know what is not working well for them, what your comparative advantage is over them, because that's what you will use to sell your business. Some of them don't even give, they don't apportion. You just buy, and they will just buy. They say, okay, we have plots, 12 plots. They've not apportioned anything. They don't have road networks in the estates. So you need to understand what your advantage over them is, because that's what you will use to sell the business. It's just the advantage. That why he has to consider doing it now. And that's what you understand. Why he has to consider doing it now. Because if he does not do it now, probably like you can tell him that there's our own that we sold. People bought for 1 million. And in 8 months' time, that property was worth 3 million. So it's from you now. If you buy now, or you want to buy in 8 months' time, from people who are selling, who are reselling. So just those are the two things. Okay.
Can someone say that I will, in every customer, if you let the customer meet the need that he wants, he will come for you more. Let's say now the person have just 5 million to buy and you are giving him an offer of 10 million. Can't you tell him that I will help you to see if there is anyone that is 5 million? You can help him check in order if you can have such.
Well, the bottom line is that you have been able to get that one sale. I think for me, the question I want to ask is, how do I negotiate with the company to get an instrumental payment? You understand?
No, but even the instrumental, he said because in the one in Enugu,
Yeah.
the first option, which is 0 to 3 months,
Yeah.
the monthly payment there is 2.85. So he said you might not be able to
meet up with that. Yeah. You see, there are always some special arrangements depending on the company you are working with. You understand? So you just look at it. Which one will be in the best interest? As you are marketing the client, you are also marketing your boss, or probably the owner of the estate. So it's a two-way thing. You are selling why they have to take this money now and not lose this client to the owner of the estate. as well as you are selling to the client, why he has to drop this money now. Because if you understand the buyer psychology, it will help you a great deal. So for like that person now, except you are selling for multiple estates, then, but if it's one person, you are one estate you are selling for, you understand? So you just need to know how to go about talking to the owner of the estate, talking to your client that, okay, why can't we do it this way, this way, this way, that way? Okay, I'll give you an example. We were talking about the documentation yesterday, that client that came to my office, and she was like, okay, so are they not supposed to go and get money and do the letter of administration? I said they don't have money for the letter of administration. He said, then what can we do? I said, we'll have something to go about it. We'll do a consent form for them. All the 4 children that have been able to establish that they are 4. So write a consent form for them. Everybody will sign, put their passport photograph, put their national ID card, affix it to the place. Then we'll deduct the money for the letter of administration. Then we'll pay them part payment, we won't pay them full. You understand? All this is an attempt to get that one sale. So you just use that. I have to be on top of the game in terms of knowledge. You understand? So you know what to do part time. Did I answer your question? Okay. Okay.
How can you convince someone that is not an Igbo man to invest in the Igbo man? Though some of them, like, they invest in Abuja. So when you tell them, they say Igbos don't give their land to foreigners.
Okay. I'm from Delta State. My mom has properties in Abuja, and she's not there right now. She's in Delta State because she's retired. So basically, yeah, what everybody is looking at is bottom line. You are convincing the person this is an estate. It's not like he's buying from a local owner. He's buying an estate. It's an investment. So what if he has company? People leave China, leave America to come and establish in Port Harcourt, where they've never known before, never been before. Because of what? What they are going to get in return, bottom line. So if you understand the appreciation rate, that is what is driving every investor. That woman that came to my office, it was the day before yesterday, she didn't want to buy that property. She didn't want to. But when I told her that there's also another woman who does what you do, that what she does is that she buys, she doesn't build, bother to build, she just buys, hold it up for like 6 months, sells, make 3-4 million naira, move to the next property. She saw an opportunity. Because what she used to do is she buy, she demolish, she rebuilds and resell. So she didn't see that aspect of the business. That and that thing at times, the property can be there 2 years, she has not sold them. Or a yard. She didn't see that aspect of it, that you can be making 3-4 million in 6 months and be jumping up and down. Just buy, hold it 6 months, you sell, you jump to the next one. She didn't see that aspect of the business. Until I told her that somebody is doing this, and the next day she came calling that she wants to have a copy of the document so she can close up that transaction. So the appreciation rate, what the person is going to benefit, that's what we are. Human beings, we are driven by only one thing: my benefit. So in communication, they call it the 7 C's of communication. One of them is you cater to the head and to the heart. Communicating benefits. That's just the summary of that, communicating to the head and to the heart. When you are able to communicate benefits to the person, that's what the person wants. All he's after is benefit. What am I going to gain? If you're able to convince the person that Enugu, one, he wants to be sure that he's not losing his money. He wants to be sure that he's not losing his property. Two, he also wants to make sure that I'm making profit at the end of the game. Any other question? So, do we have any online? Nobody? Okay.
My question is, what of clients that you have been following up for? Let's say, over 6 months, getting to 8 months, but they keep on giving you hope that they will buy, that they will, anytime that they are ready, that they will come in on them. So, how can we do in order to facilitate?
You know they have money.
The deal, and some of them have the money.
Okay. Thank you. The only thing you can do, make them to understand that every day that passes by, that property is adding money. It's adding money. My cousin came in from Spain last year. He bought a property. He bought a property around Ibeju. Before he left, he spent about 8 weeks before going back. Before he left, that property had added about 1.something million just within that 8 weeks. 2 months. You understand? 1.something million. There were some properties that Seplat was marketing. There were some plots around that Ibeju, nearly opposite Emen Estate. About 600 plots. That was some 6-7 years ago. About between 4, 6, 7 years ago. So Seplat was, Mr. Dixon was marketing that. He was still based in Lagos then, marketing those properties. They were going for 600,000 naira per plot then. They were yet to get an incision number for those properties then. But they were going for 600, and they could go a little less than that, depending on how many you're buying. But as I speak to you now, that place is worth about 8 million naira. Yes, less than 6 years. Opposite MN Estate, just after Remy Tenubu Foundation. I remember I took some clients there. So that by Eleko Beach Road there. Yeah. Yes, sir. So that's what you make the person understand, that the property you are not, that you have the money and you cannot put your money in today. I saw, most businessmen, especially from the East, they're only looking at more container, that every money they put in property is like tying it down. One day, one realtor referred a client, an Igbo man, business guy, to me. And he wants to buy a property. So I asked the man, so what do you need the property for? Personal use, commercial, what do you want to achieve? He said, personal for me, my wife, and my boys. I said, okay, so I took him somewhere. So while we were going, I started telling him that, do you know that if you have 50 million, maybe 30 million down payment, I can get you a property that in the next 8 months, you'll make about 40, 50 million naira profit from. The guy looked at me. You understand? He looked at me. I broke it down for him. I gave him real facts. That okay, I have this one. I have a property I want to sell. It's a 3-floor, 4-bedroom, 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 3 massive mini flats. Then at the back, it has a 2-story building of 3-bedroom. I told him, I said, okay, if it is rental you want, that from this you can make about 8 million naira every year from the income. You hold it for about 4 years. We sell for. I broke down everything. And the guy like, wow, oh, we're going to this thing. And, like, so there's money in this thing and we don't know. We are just thinking it's container. You understand? So most times, that is what they think. So it is you that make them understand that, come, this thing is gold. I like to listen to successful persons. So, Epis, the owner, he was sharing how he made it. How somebody who was a truant in Oshodi took him to some properties that the family owned around Alagbado. How he sold those properties and used the money to go and acquire most of Lekki. He was the one who sold them. From the money he made from that place. So at times, you need to share success stories. Make them understand this is business. I never knew property was business until I entered into it. I used to ask myself that why will a landlord be evicting people because of common rents? I never saw it was as business. But when you are able to convince the person that this is business, every opportunity you have and you did not use it in this business, tomorrow when you want to use it, you will pay ×2. I grew up in Festac. I've always been business minded. So I will tell my friends, man, I just started real estate. I said that if I have money, I will not buy property in Festac. I will go to trade fair because I saw from that time, about that 8 years, I saw Festac joining together with trade fair. I saw it. And they were selling that side. They were selling Festac millions and selling there in 300, 400. I saw it, but there was no money to seize the opportunity. I said I would just go there, acquire massive land there. So it's you that will have to communicate that. When they see that this thing is an opportunity and you don't seize it now, tomorrow, people bought property in Ikoyi for 10,000. In Ikoyi for 10,000. My mom bought a house for 600 and something thousand naira. Yes.
And how much is land there? 3,000 naira. Where? I got here 3,000 naira in the past. Okay.
So every opportunity, and that 3,000 naira, that 3,000 naira was big money that time. Yeah, you have. No, what I'm saying is that is it that money? Because what they are looking at is that if I remove this money, it's not that the money is not there. They are looking at that if I remove this money, I'm putting this in, I'm tying it down. It's like I'm tying it down. Because why? 90% of Nigerians don't know that property is business. And the only business that is real estates. So you need to communicate that.
And in real business, no land is reserved land. Because in this Agbo, at that time, people were looking at Agbo as a marshland. That when will civilization ever get to this place? And it's swamp. But look at it now. You buy a plot of land here now.
Some place is 40 million. In this August, some place is 40 million.
Yes. Yes.
I know empty land, there is no land again, except the ones people are wanting.
A 2-bedroom in Victory Estate is 800,000 naira.
Apartments here 1 million.
Any other question? Okay, you got one? Okay.
I want to ask this. A client
Yeah.
want to, you have gone for inspection.
Yeah.
But you were telling me that the money is too much. That am I trying to tell him that in that town, I cannot get, if you go around, you can get cheaper land from within the area.
He might get cheaper. Good. But it's not in an estate. Good. You see, the question is, who do you want to be your neighbor? I have a friend. He's a billionaire. We met in school. Very good. We resigned probably almost about the same time. He went into real estate. I went into other things. He owns close to 6 estates in Lekki right now. I don't know, some of you if you know Victoria Bay, Victoria Crest. He's from Ojoto. His name is Okonkwo Onyeka Kennedy. So, because of your question, that I'm getting to, that in an estate, when he was living with his uncle, Chief Sylvester Okonkwo, they were living in Agor here. Then when we were 100, 200 level, I think towards the end of 200 level, they moved from Agor to VGC. The man said to him, "It's not like I have all the money to stay in this visit, but I just want to be where I can position myself." Then a few months later, Econet was on board in Nigeria. The next door neighbor happened to be the CEO of Econet. And in 2005, when he started real estate, he did what his uncle did also. He rented, it was supposed to be a mini flat, but the way they built that place became a 2-bedroom at Oniru Private Estate.
Okay.
He rented, that was here he came in contact with real estate. He rented that apartment. When I went to visit him, he said, "Michael, now do you know that almost all I had was what I used in paying for this rent?" He said, "But I want to wake up every morning and see my dream staring at me in the face." Remember I said something, that they once asked the wife of late JF Kennedy, that supposing you go broke, what will you do? And she said she will go to where the rich eat. You are as what as your network. When you buy a property in one Shambhala,
You remain a Shambhala.
and you buy a property where you can be paying, if you accept you are buying it for the sake of pride. But if it's not for pride, before long, I have another experience. Emekofo, I don't think most people know Emekofo now. He was one of the kingmakers during Obasanjo. He bought a property in Asokoro, and the place was always locked. Most times he would not be around. So one man came, rented the place. He didn't buy it, rented the one next to his house. So he goes, "Who get this house where army go, they full everywhere, and nobody they live inside?" Say now one they make up for one businessman. Say, huh? So during Christmas, the man bought cow and took it pro. to make our first place. I said it was his Christmas gift. So they tied it. Make-up came. He came. He said, "Who brought this?" He said, "It's your neighbor." He said, "It's Christmas gift." Like, wow. So, okay, no problem. Next morning, put on his shorts, took one brandy
Okay.
here, one brandy, 2 cups. Pop, 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 went to the man's gate. I can tell you the rest is history. People you relate with matters a lot. The environment you bring up your children, yourself, matters a lot. You see, you can meet somebody today and that person will give you billions just from that person. So you need to communicate that. It's not a matter of buying property. It's buying a property that will rise tomorrow. It's a property that, okay, he buys in Shakpala, this one buys in an estate. This same Ago, I said in Victory Estate, a 2-bedroom is 800. In this same Ago, they are renting 2-bedroom for 400.
Yes.
What's the difference between the Victory and the place? It's just that Victory is an estate. This one na Shangbala. Oto. So you just need to you need to educate them why they have to be in that estate. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's infrastructure. Business is, see, real estate is first of all. When I started real estate, I said I went to buy books first. That was the first thing I did. And I read in that place that there are 3 most important things about real estate. They said the first one is location, the second one is location, the third one is location. So it's not about that you have a property, I have a property. I can have a property in Oluti. I have a property in Oluti. You have in Ikoyi. The two of them, they are not properties. So you will sell Oluti 200. You have not bought my own in Ikoyi. Because of the location. The property, the 2-bedroom apartment you will rent in Oluti for 300. If you bring it to Ikoyi, it will be worth 7 million. The same household, the same 2-bedroom, the same facility. The only difference, location. So you need to know, that's why I said that you need to be knowledgeable. You understand? Know what to communicate at part time to the client. As he's saying that they are selling, they say yes, they may be selling. How many, 5 years down the line, come and check the worth of this one and check the worth of this one. My village now, probably they are renting 2-bedroom for 5,000. Yes, now, beautiful house, 5,000. You understand? Or maybe 10,000. I don't know how much. Or maybe 10,000. I don't know. I'm just saying. You understand? I don't know. Maybe 10,000. Maybe 5,000. I don't know. But you bring that same property, bring it to probably Warri. It might be worth 60,000. You take it from Warri to Asaba, it becomes 120. You take it from Lagos to probably Surulere, the same house, to Surulere, it becomes 700. You now remove it from one aspect of the same Surulere to probably to Bode Thomas, it becomes 1.5. You take it from Bode Thomas, you take it from Bode Thomas to Ikoyi, it becomes 10 million. So location. So that is what you are going to communicate to that client. Why it's important for him to get it is location appreciation rates. That this thing is worth so is worth dying for now, because tomorrow. Any other question? I will entertain just 2 more and we'll wrap it up.
Sir, my own is no question. It's about when you introduce relation management.
Okay, relation, yeah.
It's about what he has done to me, because I was in a lecture one day that I had of it. And I learned that a marketer is like a water, that the water does not have an enemy. So they taught us of a lady that wants to go and market in family member, and they told him that the person have just get the thing last week, so she lose that opportunity. So me, I have to run to my own relation that I was the meeting with, so I have to reconcile. Unfortunately, I got that business, so I learned a very big lesson from that.
Thank God for that. Any other question, contribution, comment, question? Sir? Okay. So thank you very much for your time. I remain Obadino Hesiba Michael. Yes, sir.